You're not just about to hear dirt on fast food, you're about to taste it. Imagine walking into that glowing Dairy Queen, all nostalgia and promise of frosty sweetness. Now, what if I told you the fryer isn't the only thing that's a bit gone off? Turns out, at that Dairy Queen on Goldgate Parkway in Naples, things got so grim that inspectors revealed 3 high-priority health violations, plus a whole handful more. They found moldy, black-green substance around soda nozzles and, brace yourself, live roaches near the microwave and cooler. High priority doesn't mean we forgot the napkin. This is close to emergency level. You're crossing that threshold? Craving that blizzard but the kitchen? Live roaches. And this is not ancient history. They shut the place down in September, only reopened after quick fixes. Now spray that burger smell with a side of raw meat as ice cream glove crossover. Former employees spilled that they handled raw meat and then scooped ice cream. Same gloves, different end of the counter. That's not a mix-in. It's a health code meltdown. Safety tip? Don't think they were just lazy. Think they were saving cost where you'd least want them to save. Then there's that gravy. Bags of pre-made goo sitting and warming all day. No thermometer. Just dial and stir. Hoping nobody notices. No monitoring. Just vibes. That burger? Frozen. Shoved into metal drawers, slapped onto a grill that may have not even been wiped from the last batch. Think of your expectations melting under the heat lamp. A customer famously posted a photo. Cheeseburger with an unmelted cheese slice slipping off. Gray meat, soggy bun. It wasn't a failed aesthetic. It was disappointment served on a bun. And that soft serve? The hero of the menu plays a dirty role. Staff often admit it gets deep cleaned maybe once a week. Most of the time, a quick rinse, swipe, and pray nobody looks. Inspections even noted a visible black film inside the dispenser. That isn't your sprinkles. That's a recall waiting to happen. So when you're driving up for that familiar Dairy Queen buzz, it might just be mixing shortcuts, persistence of bacteria, and melted standards. And that makes me wonder, what about the chicken chain world? We're heading to Popeyes next, where the brand might be bold. But the kitchen structures are anything but. Player-approved chicken sandwich? Maybe. Prep room practices that look like a biolab roulette? Coming up, let's pivot to a kitchen where the chicken may be spicy, but the behind the scenes? Total chaos. Welcome to Popeyes, the place where the sandwich went viral, but so did the employee horror stories. That crunchy golden crust you crave might be hiding something way darker. Former workers from multiple locations have reported raw chicken left, sitting out on open trays. Not in fridges, not even covered, just sitting. One ex-employee in Georgia said they'd stack crates of raw chicken on the floor because they ran out of space. If Salmonella could write Yelp reviews, this place would be famous. And the breading? It's not just flour and flavor. That signature crunch comes from reused mix. Yes, reused. A worker claimed that even when the breading turned orange and sticky, they were told to keep going. Because, hey, flour's expensive. Apparently, so is basic hygiene. Now picture this. Chicken just sitting on trays in hot kitchens for hours. No timers. No thermometers. No lids. Just chicken being moved around. Touched. Breathed on. And when the rush hits, it's tossed straight into the fryer. Doesn't matter how long it sat out. One former team member called it food roulette. Eat at your own risk, but hold up. Let's talk oil. That crispy taste you think is flavor? It might just be fatigue. Some stores push their fryers for days without changing the oil. One manager admitted they'd only swap it out when it turned so dark they couldn't fake it anymore. Until then, it's just filtered and reused. Filtered through what? Hope? Because customers have complained their fries taste like old shrimp and battery acid. One woman posted a photo of soggy Cajun fries that looked more like they were steamed in a fish tank than fried. And let's not even get into the biscuit game, but we will. Those iconic biscuits, flaky, buttery, addictive, are often pulled early from the oven to beat the clock, then left under a heat lamp to finish cooking. The result? Hard on the outside, doughy inside. One ex-worker said they looked done, but biting into one felt like chewing wet chalk. And the cleaning routine? Depends entirely on the crew. Night shifts? They're trying to clock out, not scrub down. Soda machines? Often sticky. Ice bins? Questionable. A video once showed flies near the drive-through window, buzzing over uncovered trays of food. The caption? Dinner and a show. The problem here isn't just one bad store, it's a pattern. Popeyes exploded in popularity, but with fast growth comes rushed systems, undertrained staff, and too many corners cut. That chicken sandwich might slap, but the systems behind it, they're broken, and it shows. Still hungry? Let's jump from fried chaos to fresh facades. Next up, we're exposing two brands that pretend to be upscale, Panera Bread and Five Guys. But once you peel back the artisan labels and paper wrap, you'll wish you hadn't. Let's talk about fast food that wants you to think it's not fast food. We're stepping into the calm, cozy glow of Panera Bread, the cafe chain that sells you on fresh-baked vibes, wellness bowls, and that little buzzer that makes you feel like you're dining in a boutique bistro. But behind the soft jazz and reclaimed wood, it's a microwave masquerade. Multiple former employees have exposed the truth. Almost nothing is made fresh in-house. The soups, not simmered. They come frozen in thick plastic bags, dropped into giant water baths like culinary cryogenics. Once thawed, they're poured into warming trays. And if they sit too long, they develop a skin so thick it has to be stirred like wet cement. One worker joked, "Our broccoli cheddar soup is 10% cheddar, 5% broccoli, and 85% nostalgia and denial." And it doesn't end there. Those iconic bread bowls, pre-baked, shipped in from central facilities, then reheated like a frozen pizza. Employees have admitted they weren't allowed to adjust oven times. So if it came out too pale or too burnt, you served it anyway. Smile, plate, move on. Think that sourdough crunch comes from a loving baker kneading dough at dawn? Nah, it's factory-timed fermentation. One former baker said, "I got more creative freedom making toast at home." Now let's walk down the salad line. It might look like a wholesome frenzy, but it's bagged lettuce, bulk carrots, and vacuum-sealed chicken that smells suspiciously citrusy. "That lemon herb chicken," said one worker, "it came pre-grilled, pre-sliced, and pre-weird. If it looked fresh, it probably got spritzed with water to revive it." One team member even admitted they fluffed stale lettuce with their bare hands, just to give it some lift before the dinner rush. Bon appetit? And those pastries in the glass case? They might have been yesterday's. Or the day before, items are rotated and reused until they sell. If it looks too dry, toss some icing on it and pretend it's new. They call it the day-old shuffle. You call it brunch, cleanliness, like always. It varies. Some locations sparkle, others? Let's just say mold under soda machines and missing temperature logs aren't uncommon. In Texas, one location had to toss out a whole fridge of food after it sat warm for 8 hours. And yes, sandwiches from that fridge had already been served that morning. Still thinking Panera's your healthy go-to? You might want to rethink that mac and cheese. Now on to Five Guys, burgers, fries, and the illusion of better fast food. From the outside, it feels elevated. Minimal menu, fresh-cut fries, open kitchen. But open doesn't mean honest. That paper bag you're handed, overflowing with fries, is a distraction, because what you don't see is the corner behind the prep line where raw meat sits uncovered, potatoes pile up on the floor, and spatulas fall and bounce right back onto the grill. Yes, the burgers are made from fresh beef, but once they're portioned, they're stored in metal trays wrapped in plastic, left on open counters during rushes. Multiple ex-workers said they'd grab raw patties with one hand and flip buns with the other. That's not multitasking. That's bacteria roulette. And those signature fries? Cooked in peanut oil that's only changed when it starts to smell burnt or turns dark enough to raise suspicion. Between batches, it's just filtered and reused. That savory aroma you smell walking in? It's not freshness, it's oil fatigue. The open peanut boxes are a whole other horror. Guests dig in with bare hands, no tongs, no oversight, just a communal buffet of potential germs. One customer posted a photo of a Band-Aid at the bottom of the peanut box. That's not crunchy, that's code red. And the open kitchen design? It's just performance. One former employee said, "Move fast enough and no one sees the mess." Burgers may come out stacked and steamy, but they've often been sweating under heat lamps, waiting on fries that take forever. Cleanliness, again, depends on who's working. One night crew might scrub down everything, another, wipe and dash. Health inspection reports have flagged grease buildup under prep tables and sticky soda machines that haven't seen soap in days. And let's talk about price. You're paying $15 to $20 for a burger and fries, but that premium price doesn't guarantee better practices, just better packaging. As one customer put it, "For this much money, I expected food, not a fire drill in a brown bag." Up next, we're exposing the big ones, the icons, the ones you've probably eaten this week. If you thought greasy gloves and moldy ice cream were bad, wait until you see what's behind the crown and the golden arches. Stay tuned. You're not going to believe what's next. Let's get into it. You've made it through the local disasters and faux artisan illusions, but now we're heading straight for the big dogs, the royalty, the global giants. And trust me, this is where the fryer grease really hits the fan. Let's start with Burger King. The name says king, but the stories coming out of those kitchens? Pure jester energy. Former employees from across the country have shared tales that would make your stomach turn, if the burgers didn't already. One ex-worker admitted their location left raw patties out for hours in open trays. No covers, no temperature control, just stacked meat exposed to the air because it was faster to grab. Quick access, they said. Shortcut to disaster, we say. The fryers? You don't even want to know. Cleaning them once a week, maybe. One employee said their oil looked like it came from a truck engine. Thick, black, bubbling sludge. That crispy onion ring might just be swimming in week-old oil stew. Let's talk burgers. Flame-grilled sounds fancy, right? But there's no grill master. Just a conveyor belt broiler system that slides meat through like luggage at TSA. If the machine is dirty, which, surprise, it often is, your Whopper comes out carrying not just flavor, but also last night's charred grease and mystery crumbs. One viral video showed a patty sliding out of the broiler covered in black flakes. The caption? Extra crunch or extra concern. And don't think breakfast is safe. Most items come frozen or boxed. Scrambled eggs, liquid mix from a carton, microwaved when they're short on staff. The French toast sticks, flash fried from a freezer bag. The croissants, thawed, not baked. Oh, and remember those cute paper crowns they hand out? One worker posted a photo of the crown storage. It was a crushed cardboard box sitting next to the mop sink. Your royalty just caught a splash of floor water. But the worst? Expired meat getting a makeover. One shift manager in Michigan confessed they were told to relabel old patties if they still looked fine. That means your burger could have been from last week, with a fresh sticker slapped on. And it gets darker. Multiple staff said they were pressured to serve undercooked burgers to meet speed goals. One former team member tossed a visibly pink patty, only to be scolded by management. Their reasoning? The toppings will cover it. Spoiler, they didn't. That customer ended up with food poisoning. The flame might still grill, but at Burger King, it's the illusion that's well done. Everything else is dangerously rare. And then there's McDonald's, the Golden Arches, the billion burgers, the cultural monument to fast food. And yet, under that golden glow is a system so broken, it's practically by design. Let's start with those world-famous fries. Employees across dozens of locations have said the oil gets reused far past recommended limits. If it doesn't smell bad or turn dark, they keep filtering and frying. One worker said, "We change it when it gets brown enough to be noticed. Until then, it's just a vat of ancient grease with a side of hope." Now the patties. Yes, technically 100% beef, but that just means ground-up scraps formed into what employees call meat pucks. They're stored in industrial freezers, then cooked on automated clamshell grills. No hand flipping, no judgment. If it sticks, burns, or undercooks, too bad. It slides off the belt and straight into a bun. Ice cream machines? You already know the punchline. Always broken. But here's the truth. The cleaning process is so complicated that most employees don't do it right. If they mess up a step, the machine locks and needs a tech to reset it. Meanwhile, the inside builds up sludge. One ex-employee shared photos of a half-cleaned machine, thick, grimy residue that looked like dairy mixed with motor oil. That's not dessert. That's a bacterial time bomb. Night shifts often skip full cleaning. Soda fountains stay sticky. Ice bins collect mold. One former worker said they were told, "Just wipe the counters and go." Even the grill grease sometimes stayed overnight, only to be reheated in the morning. Let's not forget breakfast, the beloved McMuffins, sometimes made with cracked eggs. Other times, frozen egg discs pulled from a tray. Pancakes, pre-cooked, reheated on a grill still slick from last night's burgers. One customer posted a photo of their McGriddle with unmelted cheese and a puddle of oil under the bun. It looked like it had been microwaved in reverse. And here's the kicker. None of this is an accident. It's not a fluke. It's built into the system. Speed, cost saving, and brand consistency matter more than food safety or cleanliness. And when the pressure's on, staff are pushed to prioritize output over everything else. So if you've ever wondered how fast food stays so cheap, so fast, and so familiar, now you know the cost. We've gone through 6 chains, 6 kingdoms of flavor, each with its own brand of chaos. From raw meat on the floor to roaches by the fryer. From fake freshness to shortcut sandwiches. It's a pattern. It's real. And it's still happening. Not every store is guilty, but enough are to raise a massive red flag. So next time you're in that drive-through line, ask yourself, do I really know what I'm eating? And is it worth the risk? If this made your stomach turn, or made you think, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still believes the ice cream machine just needs a part. Because the truth? It's not always on the menu.